people in organizations are able to do vibe analytics, if the kind of the end user, the business user in a company, a business expert, not necessarily somebody that can code, can be using a platform to be pulling out analytics automatically. I mean, the whole idea of Fabi is fast VI. What is the implication for people who, are kind of my core audience on the show, hands-on data science practitioners, AI engineers? Does it mean that companies don't need data scientists anymore uh, if a tool like Fabi is in place in their organization?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I absolutely don't think it means that you don't need data scientists anymore. I think it changes I think it changes the way data scientists work and how they interact with their counterparts in a few big ways. I think the first is, and this can always be a little bit hard to quantify. The first big thing is that if you're actually letting your business counterpart explore data more on their own, you're going to have a much more data literate, informed counterpart. And so I'll take myself as an example as a product manager. If I'm able to actually explore the data on my own, get a first pull of the data, even if it's not 100% right, I'm going to come to you as a data scientist with a much better initial question. I'm not just going to go and file a ticket in Jira or Linear, wherever you might be filing tickets. That doesn't really make much sense because I've had a chance to actually do some of that basic exploration, and that just creates like a much more collaborative, informed, intelligent environment than what you have today. So that's one big thing that we're seeing really change with our customers. The other big thing I would say too is that if you think about, and if we focus like on AI specifically, AI is becoming incredibly good at coding, and so the sort of logical extension to that is that the value of knowing how to code and like rote memorization. Like if you, let's say you're just like creating like a plotly chart, and in the past maybe like forget how to, or someone actually remembers exactly how to do a plotly chart off the cuff, like that may have been valuable in the past, but I think in the future that's actually not going to be as valuable. Instead, what's going to be valuable as a data scientist is going to be, I'd say, like really two things. One is having a really deep understanding of the business. And so like this is why I tell like any sort of data scientist and even just data practitioner in general in the enterprise is the number one thing that you can be doing right now is like just better understanding how the business is making money and making a profit, or growing depending on the stage of the company, and like really understanding like the P&L of the business, the profit and loss. And the other thing that I think is really going to change for data scientists as well is, since you're going to be spending less time on the coding, they're going to be able to spend a lot more time on like the actual experimentation setup, right? And like thinking about the hypothesis, studying the results. And there's going to be a lot more value for data scientists who actually have a really strong fundamental understanding of stats and ML, because you're going to have to be able to supervise the AI and make sure that it's like writing the algorithm the way it needs to be based on the experiment, based on your data. And so I personally think that it's incredibly exciting time actually for data scientists, because you're kind of getting out of like sort of the I would say like the less value add tasks, and you're actually going to be able to start exercising more of the muscle that you probably went to school for, to even studying and thinking about for for most of your career. So I think it's probably like the single most exciting time for data scientists in the past like 5-10 years.